The alarm sounds across the monitoring station like a dying animal. Kefvara jumps from his chair, all 6 arms moving to different control panels at once. His green skin turns pale as he reads the numbers on his screen. This cannot be right. Check the sensors again, he tells his assistant. His voice shakes. Run a full diagnostic. Something is broken. But the sensors are not broken. The massive gravitational wave detector shows the same impossible reading. Something huge is coming through hyperspace. Something that should not exist. Kefvara has worked at this station for 20 years. He has seen the biggest ships the galaxy can build. The largest warship ever made was a Class 7 destroyer. It took the hegemony 50 years to build just one. Most ships are Class 3 or 4. Even Class 5 ships are rare and powerful. The readings on his screen show. Class 10, contact the Galactic Council, Kefvara says. His assistant stares at him with wide eyes. Tell them we have a Class 10 contact. Tell them to send everything. Sir, there is no such thing as Class 10, his assistant says. The scale only goes to Class 8. I know that, Kefvara shouts. Tell them anyway. The hyperspace exit point appears on the main screen. Space itself seems to bend and twist. Reality warps like hot metal. Then something emerges that makes Kefvara's brain hurt to look at. The ship is not just big. It is beyond big. It stretches across space like a metal moon. The monitoring station's computer tries to measure it and gives up. The number keeps growing. 1,000 kilometers. 1,500, 2,000. The ship seems to go on forever. By the ancient gods? Kefvara whispers. All across the galaxy, warning systems start screaming. Ancient machines that have slept for millions of years suddenly wake up. Red lights flash on worlds that have never seen war. Computer voices speak words that most species have forgotten. Apex predator detected. All fleets retreat to safe distance. Emergency protocols now active. On the hegemony homeworld, Ambassador Zixtala receives the emergency message while eating breakfast. Her silver scales turn black with fear as she reads the report. Her people have ruled the galaxy for 50,000 years. They have seen everything. They have conquered everything. But this ship makes their greatest achievements look like toys. How is this possible? She asks her aide. What species built this? We don't know, Ambassador. The ship appears to be scanning the area. It has not responded to our communications. Zixtala looks at the images again. The ship's hull is smooth and gray. It has no visible weapons, but that means nothing. A ship this size could destroy planets just by ramming them. Its gravity field is so strong that space debris is starting to orbit around it. Send a message to all council members, she says. Emergency session, now. Inside the giant ship, Captain Sarah Chun sits in her command chair and drinks coffee. She does not know that her morning routine has just caused panic across 17 different star systems. To her, this is just another day at work. Status report, she says to her bridge crew. All systems green, Captain, replies her first officer, Commander Rodriguez. Hyperspace jump successful. We are now in the Andromeda Galaxy as planned. Excellent. Begin long-range scans. I want a full survey of this sector. The bridge of the UES Leviathan's Dream is huge but feels comfortable. The ship carries 2.3 million people, but they have plenty of room. The humans built their ship for a long journey. They wanted to explore beyond their home galaxy and see what was out there. Captain Chun does not know that her exploration vessel is the most dangerous thing the galaxy has ever seen. She does not know that her ship's power output equals a small star. She does not know that her shields could stop weapons that could crack planets. To her, the Leviathan's Dream is just a good ship with a good crew on an important mission. Captain, we're detecting multiple ships approaching, says Lieutenant Patel at the sensor station. Lots of them. They're still far away but coming fast. Interesting, Captain Chun says. Looks like we're about to meet the neighbors. Are they showing any hostile intent? No, Captain. They're maintaining distance. It looks like a diplomatic formation, Captain Chun nods. First contact protocols exist for a reason. Earth scientists have spent years preparing for this moment. They have translation programs ready? They have gift packages prepared. They have detailed plans for peaceful contact with alien species. What they do not have is any idea that the rest of the galaxy is terrified of them. On the hegemony flagship Eternal Harmony, Fleet Admiral Mordoon studies the readings with growing horror. His crystalline body glows bright red with stress. His people are master diplomats. They have solved wars that lasted thousands of years, but they have never dealt with anything like this. The ship's power signature is off the scale, his science officer reports. Its shields are stronger than our main weapons. Its hull appears to be made of materials we don't recognize. What about the life forms inside? We're detecting approximately 3 million individual beings. The ship appears to be a city in space. Admiral Mordoon considers this. A warship carries soldiers, a transport carries passengers. But this ship carries families, children, scientists, artists. It is not just a ship. It is a civilization. They're not invaders, he realizes. They're explorers, but that makes them even more frightening. If this is what they build for exploration, what do they build for war? Across the galaxy, the greatest minds work to understand what they are facing. The Nexari mathematicians run calculations until their computers overheat. The Zephyrite bioengineers study the ship's organic-looking curves. The Valari energy specialists stare in amazement at power readings that should be impossible. Everyone reaches the same conclusion. Whoever built this ship is so far beyond them that comparison is meaningless. It is like comparing a candle to a star. The ship's communication array finally activates. The signal is strong and clear. Translation programs across the galaxy struggle to decode the message. When they succeed, the words spread through space like wildfire. Greetings. This is Captain Sarah Chun of the United Earthship Leviathan's Dream. We come in peace and friendship. We are explorers from the Milky Way galaxy. We seek knowledge and cultural exchange. Please respond if you receive this message. The voice is calm and friendly. It sounds almost casual. There is no threat in it, no demand for surrender, no claim of conquest. Just a polite greeting from one explorer to another. In the Galactic Council chambers, hundreds of species listen to the message in stunned silence. Finally, Ambassador Zixthala speaks. They think this is normal, she says. They built the most powerful ship in known space, traveled between galaxies, and they think this is just normal exploration. The implications hit everyone at once. If this is normal for them, what is their real military like? If this is just one ship, how many more do they have? If they can travel between galaxies so easily, what else can they do? We need to respond, says Counselor Vexstar of the Vecanari. But what do we say to gods? We say hello, Admiral Mordoon answers. We say welcome. And we hope they continue to think we're worth talking to. Back on the Leviathan's Dream, Captain Chun waits patiently for a response. Her communications officer works to clean up the incoming signals. Multiple species are trying to contact them at once, all using different technologies. Captain, I'm getting dozens of responses, the communications officer reports. They all seem to be variations of the same message. Something about diplomatic meetings and peaceful intentions. That's encouraging, Captain Chun says. It looks like we found a friendly neighborhood, set up a meeting. Use standard first contact protocols? She has no idea that she just changed the course of galactic history with a simple coffee break conversation. She does not know that the greatest powers in the galaxy are scrambling to figure out how to talk to her without making her angry. All Captain Chin knows is that her mission is going well. They found intelligent life on their first day in the new galaxy. The crew will be excited. Earth will be pleased. And she still has 2.3 million people to keep safe on their long journey. Outside her ship, space fills with the greatest fleet ever assembled. Every major species sends their best ships and their wisest diplomats. They come not as conquerors or defenders, but as children hoping to make friends with a giant. The giant, meanwhile, continues drinking coffee and reading reports, completely unaware that galaxies are holding their breath. The emergency session of the Galactic Council breaks every record for attendance. Species that have not spoken to each other in centuries suddenly find themselves sitting at the same table. Ancient enemies put aside wars that have lasted millennia. The threat is too big for old grudges. Ambassador Zixthala looks around the great chamber. Every seat is filled. Some species send multiple representatives. Others attend by hologram from distant star systems. The air fills with different breathing gases as life support systems work overtime. We face something unprecedented, she begins. The ship that entered our space is beyond our understanding. It violates everything we know about physics and engineering. Counselor. Vekmar of the Builders raises one of his 4 hands. Our engineers have studied the readings. The ship's mass should collapse into a black hole. Its power output should tear it apart. Yet it flies through space as if these laws do not apply. Perhaps they have found ways around our physics, suggests Dr. Velkari through her bioluminescent translator. Perhaps they understand forces we have never discovered. The room erupts into discussion. The Zephyrites flash angry colors. The Volari emit electromagnetic bursts of confusion. The crystalline Nexari make sounds like breaking glass. Order! Ambassador Zixthala shouts. We must decide how to respond. This is not the time for scientific debate. Fleet Admiral Mordoon stands slowly. His crystal body catches the light and throws rainbows across the chamber. I volunteer to lead the diplomatic mission. My fleet is already in position. Your fleet? Counselor Vextar laughs bitterly. What can your ships do against that monster? It could swat them aside like insects. That is exactly why we must go, Admiral Mordoon replies. If they wanted to destroy us, we would already be dead. The fact that we still live means they might be reasonable. The vote is unanimous. Every species agrees to send representatives. The diplomatic fleet grows larger by the hour as more ships arrive. Soon it becomes the greatest gathering of peaceful vessels in galactic history, but even as they prepare, the aliens struggle with a basic problem. How do you talk to gods? On the bridge of the Leviathan's Dream, Captain Chun reviews the diplomatic preparations with her senior staff. The aliens have asked for a meeting in neutral space. They suggest a dead system between galaxies where no one has territorial claims. Seems reasonable, Captain Chun says. Dr. Martinez, are your translation programs ready? As ready as they can be, Captain. We've identified at least 30 different communication methods. Some use sound, others use light, a few seem to use quantum entanglement. It's fascinating. Commander. Rodriguez, what about security? Standard protocols, Captain. Small diplomatic team, full medical scans, emergency teleporter locks. Nothing fancy? Captain Chun nods. She has done first contact missions before, though never on this scale. The number of different species surprised her. Earth scientists predicted they might find 1 or 2 intelligent races. Instead they found dozens. Any signs of hostile intent? None, Captain. If anything, they seem nervous. Their formation is purely defensive. They're maintaining respectful distance. What Captain Chen does not know is that respectful distance means the alien fleet is staying far enough away to run if her ship shows any aggression. The aliens have positioned themselves at the edge of the system, ready to flee at the first sign of trouble. Dr. Velkari studies the human ship from her science vessel. Her instruments show impossible readings. The ship's hull appears to be a single piece of metal with no joints or welds. Its surface is perfectly smooth except for what might be sensor arrays and docking ports. How did they forge something that large? She wonders aloud. Our biggest construction facilities could not handle a section of that hull. Her assistant, a young Nexari named Clixvin, runs calculations on his tablet. Doctor, according to these numbers, the ship's internal volume is larger than most space stations. It has its own gravity generators, atmosphere processors, and what appears to be a complete ecosystem. An ecosystem? Yes, Doctor. I'm detecting plant life, water systems, even what might be recreational areas. It's not just a ship, it's a world. This information spreads through the alien fleet like wildfire. The implications terrify and amaze them. To build a ship that could house millions of people for years requires resources beyond imagination. It suggests a civilization with power over entire star systems. Meanwhile, the human ship moves toward the meeting point with casual efficiency. It travels faster than most alien vessels can even detect. Its wake disturbs space itself, causing gravitational ripples that register on sensors thousands of kilometers away. They make it look so easy, Admiral Mordoon observes. Our fastest ships strain to reach half that speed. Theirs moves like it's taking a leisurely stroll. The meeting point is an ancient stellar graveyard. Dead planets orbit a long cold star. Nothing lives here. Nothing has lived here for millions of years. It seems appropriate for a meeting that might determine the future of galactic civilization. The alien fleet arrives first. 127 ships from 23 different species arrange themselves in a careful pattern. Each ship represents the best their civilization can offer. Together, they form a magnificent display of galactic technology and cooperation. Then the human ship arrives. And suddenly the alien fleet looks like toys. The Leviathan's dream enters. The system like a new moon. Its gravity well immediately affects the orbits of the dead planets. Space debris that has drifted freely for eons suddenly begins falling toward the massive ship, compensating for gravitational interference, reports the human navigation officer. Sorry about that. Forgot how much we affect local space. The casual comment, transmitted on open channels, sends shockwaves through the alien fleet. They forgot they could move planets with their presence. What else do they forget? What other casual comments might reveal powers beyond understanding? Captain. Chun studies the alien ships on her main screen. They are beautiful in their diversity. Some look grown rather than built. Others appear to be made of living crystal. A few seem to exist partly in dimensions she cannot see. Impressive fleet, she comments. They must have put a lot of effort into this meeting. Her communications officer nods. Captain, I'm receiving formal diplomatic protocols from multiple sources. They want to establish communication standards, exchange cultural information, and set up translation matrices. Standard procedure, send them our diplomatic package. Let's make sure everyone can understand each other. The human diplomatic package contains information about Earth, humanity, and their peaceful intentions. It includes basic science, mathematics, and cultural data. To the humans, it is a simple introduction. To the aliens, it is a revelation. The package contains casual mentions of technologies that should be impossible. Humans describe traveling between stars like taking a bus trip. They mention building ships in space like constructing houses. They talk about managing entire solar systems like gardening projects. Dr. Valkyrie reads the human technological summary with growing amazement. They list faster-than-light travel as a solved problem. They mention artificial gravity like it's basic engineering. They describe energy generation methods that violate half the laws of physics. Maybe they're lying, suggests her assistant. No, Dr. Valkyrie says quietly. Look at their ship. Everything they claim, they've already proven. The cultural section of the package proves even more disturbing. Humans describe themselves as a young species that only recently achieved spaceflight. They mention their age as a technological civilization. 400 years. The number causes what historians later call the Great Silence. For exactly 17 minutes, no alien ship transmits anything. Every species spends those minutes trying to understand how beings so young could achieve so much. The Nexari, master mathematicians, calculate human technological advancement rates and require medical attention. The Decanari, greatest builders in the galaxy, stare at their construction achievements and feel like children with toy blocks. The Volari, energy specialists, look at human power generation figures and question, everything they know about physics? Impossible, whispers Counselor Vexstar aboard his flagship. No species advances that quickly. It takes millions of years to develop space travel, hundreds of millions to master interstellar flight. They claim to have done it all in a few centuries. Maybe. Time moves differently for them, suggests his science officer. No, they use the same time measurements we do. They really did advance from primitive technology to galactic travel in 400 years. The implications sink in across the fleet. If humans can advance so quickly, what will they achieve in another 400 years, in 1,000? The galaxy's greatest civilizations have been stable for tens of thousands of years. They consider rapid change dangerous and unpredictable. Humans, apparently, consider rapid change normal. Captain Chun receives confirmation that the alien fleet is ready for formal first contact. The meeting will take place aboard the Eternal Harmony Admiral Morduna's flagship. Both sides agree to limit the number of representatives to avoid overcrowding. Take the standard diplomatic team, Captain Chun tells Commander Rodriguez. Dr. Martinez for translations, Dr. Okafor for cultural analysis, yourself for military protocol. Keep it simple and friendly. What about gifts, Captain? The docking bay of the Eternal Harmony has been changed 3 times in the past hour. Admiral Morduna's engineers work frantically to prepare for visitors who might need anything from liquid methane to pure energy fields to survive. What if they breathe poison gas? Asks Chief Engineer Voxtal, his crystal body flashing nervous yellow. What if they communicate through radiation? What if they exist in multiple dimensions? We will adapt, Admiral Mordun replies, though his own crystalline form glows with stress patterns. We have prepared for every possibility. But they have not prepared for what actually emerges from the human shuttle. Captain Chun steps out. First, followed by her small diplomatic team. They look exactly like the images in their cultural package, but seeing them in person creates a different kind of shock. These beings look so ordinary, so fragile. They have no armor plating, no visible weapons, no energy fields protecting them. Dr. Velkari, watching through biosensors, cannot believe what she sees. They're using simple pressure suits, basic life support. Their bodies appear to be entirely biological with no technological enhancements. The humans walk through the prepared docking bay like tourists exploring a museum. Dr. Martinez points at the adaptive atmosphere processors with obvious interest. Dr. Okafor takes notes about the gravitational adjustment systems. Commander Rodriguez nods approvingly at the security arrangements. Fascinating engineering, Captain Chun says through her translator. You've solved the multi-species atmosphere problem very elegantly. Admiral Morduna's translator struggles. With the casual tone? The word elegant comes out as divine perfection in his language. The compliment from a being who built a ship that defies physics sounds like praise from a god. Thank you, honored one, Admiral Mordun replies, his crystal body flashing formal respect patterns. We have prepared our greatest conference chamber for this historic meeting. The procession through the ship becomes a parade of wonder and confusion. The humans comment on everything they see. They ask questions about alien technology with genuine curiosity. They seem impressed by innovations that their own ship has already surpassed by centuries. Your bioluminescent displays are beautiful, Dr. Okafor tells a Zephyrite diplomat. How do you prevent signal interference between different color frequencies? The Zephyrite freezes. The question reveals that humans understand bioluminescent communication well enough to spot potential problems. Problems that took the Zephyrite thousands of years to solve. The human asks about it like discussing the weather. The main conference chamber has been expanded to accommodate 23 different species. The environmental controls work overtime to provide suitable conditions for everyone. Sections of the room contain different atmospheres separated by force fields. Gravity varies across the floor. Temperature zones shift to keep everyone comfortable. The humans enter and immediately adapt. Captain Chun breathes the standard atmosphere without complaint. Dr. Martinez adjusts his equipment to work in variable gravity. Commander Rodriguez positions himself where he can see all the alien delegates without seeming aggressive. Impressive setup, Captain Chun observes. Coordinating this many different environmental needs must have taken significant planning. Again, the translator struggles. Significant planning becomes cosmic effort beyond mortal understanding in several alien languages. The humans seem to consider feats of engineering that impress entire civilizations as merely noteworthy. Ambassador Zixthala takes her position at the head of the conference table. Her silver scales shift to formal diplomatic patterns as she begins the official proceedings. "We welcome the representatives of humanity to this historic gathering," she says. "I am Ambassador Zixthala of the Hegemony Council. We represent 50,000 years of galactic civilization." Captain Chain nods. Politely, "Thank you for the welcome, Ambassador. I'm Captain Sarah Chun of the United Earthship Leviathan's Dream. We're honored to meet so many different species." The casual response creates ripples of confusion. 50,000 years of civilization deserves more than polite acknowledgement. But the humans seem unimpressed by age or accomplishment. They treat the galaxy's greatest powers like interesting neighbors. "We must discuss your impressive vessel," Ambassador Zixthala continues. "Our sensors indicate technological capabilities beyond our current understanding. We would appreciate insight into your methods." Dr. Martinez looks at Captain Chun, who nods permission to answer. "We'd be happy to share information," he says. "Though I should mention that the Leviathan's Dream is just a standard exploration ship, nothing too special." The silence that follows lasts almost a full minute. Every alien delegate tries to process the concept of standard applied to a ship that dwarfs their greatest achievements. Counselor Thekmore, the master builder, speaks first. "Forgive me, but did your translator malfunction?" "You called your vessel standard?" "That's correct," Dr. Martinez replies. "It's designed for long-range exploration and scientific research. We built 7 more just like it for the exploration program." Dr. Velkari makes a sound like breaking crystal. Her bioluminescent patches flash alarm colors. 7 more? You have 8 ships of this class?" "Oh no," Captain Chun corrects. 8 in the current series. We've built ships before. The Leviathan's Dream is just the newest design. The mathematical implications hit the Nexari delegation like a physical blow. If humans consider these ships standard, and they have built multiple generations of them, then their total fleet capability exceeds the combined forces of the entire galaxy. "Perhaps we could discuss your rate of technological development," suggests Admiral Mordun, his crystal form cycling through stress colors. "Your cultural package mentions 400 years of spaceflight. Our records show similar development. Typically requires millions of years." Dr. Okafor nods enthusiastically. "That's an interesting comparison. We'd love to study your historical development patterns. We're always looking for new approaches to solve problems." "New approaches?" Counselor Vexstar asks weakly. "Sure, every species probably discovers different solutions to the same challenges. We might learn something useful from your experiences." The concept of humans learning from alien technology creates another wave of stunned silence. These beings travel between galaxies and worry about learning from species they have already surpassed by countless orders of magnitude. Ambassador Zixthala tries a different approach. "What brings you to our galaxy? Are you seeking territory? Resources? Trade opportunities?" "Exploration," Captain Chun answers simply. "We want to see what's out here. Map the local group, study different stellar formations, meet new people. That's all?" "Pretty much. We're scientists and explorers. Our mission is to expand human knowledge and make peaceful contact with other civilizations." The simplicity of the answer troubles the aliens more than any military threat. Conquest they could understand. Resource gathering makes sense. Even expansion follows logical patterns. But pure curiosity as a motivation for crossing galactic distances suggests minds that work very differently from their own. Dr. Velkari asks the question that everyone wants answered. "How did your species advance so rapidly? What allowed you to develop such capabilities in such a short time?" Dr. Okafor considers this carefully. "I think it's because we're generalists. Most species seem to specialize in particular areas. You develop incredible expertise in specific fields. Humans tend to work on everything at once." "Everything at once?" Sure, while we're developing better engines, we're also working on new materials. Improved computers, advanced weapons, better food production, faster communication, more efficient manufacturing. We don't focus on just one area. The explanation hits the alien delegates like a revelation. Every species in the galaxy follows the same pattern. They choose specializations early in their development and pursue them for millions of years. The Vekanari became master builders. The Zephirites perfected biotechnology. The Volari focused on energy manipulation. Humans apparently never chose. They developed everything simultaneously. But that's impossible, protests Counselor Thekwer. Specialization allows for deeper understanding. Focusing on specific areas produces better results, does it? Captain Chun asks. Your biotechnology is amazing, but do your ships travel between galaxies? Your energy systems are impressive, but do they power city-sized vessels? Your construction techniques are beautiful, but do they create ships that last for centuries? The questions strike home. Each species has mastered their chosen field, but none have achieved what humans consider routine. Specialization produced expertise but limited scope. Human generalization produced capabilities that dwarf expert achievements. Your approach explains much, Admiral Mordoon admits. We wondered how you solved so many different problems. We assumed you had discovered new physics or had millions of years to develop. Nope, Commander Rodriguez says cheerfully. Just good engineering and lots of practice. We've been solving problems for a long time. How long? Asks Ambassador Zixtala. Since we discovered fire, I guess, maybe longer. Humans are natural problem solvers. We see something that doesn't work and we fix it. We see something that works and we make it work better. Dr. Valkyrie runs quick calculations. You've been continuously improving for your entire evolutionary history? The alarm cuts through the diplomatic meeting like a blade. Red lights flash across the Eternal Harmonies bridge as urgent messages flood the communication channels. Admiral Mordoon's crystal body shifts to emergency patterns as he reads the incoming reports. What is it? Ambassador Zixtala demands. The Devourer swarm, Admiral Mordoon replies, his voice tight with fear. It has broken free from the quantum prison. The silence that follows chills every alien in the conference room. Even the humans notice the sudden change in atmosphere. Captain Chin looks around the table at faces showing various expressions of terror. I take it this is bad news? She asks. Dr. Valkyrie's bioluminescent patches flash urgent warning colors. The Devourer swarm destroyed 3 entire star systems before we managed to contain it. It's a machine intelligence that consumes everything in its path. Ships, planets, stars, even space stations. How long ago did this happen? Dr. Okafor asks, taking notes. 1,200 years ago, Counselor Thekmore answers. It took the combined fleets of 18 species to trap it in a quantum cage. Even then, we couldn't destroy it. Only contain it. Commander Rodriguez frowns. You've had a hostile AI running loose for over 1,000 years? Not running loose, Admiral Mordoon corrects. Contained. Trapped between dimensions where it couldn't hurt anyone. But something has gone wrong. Our monitoring stations report that it has broken free. Captain Chun stands up from the conference table. Where is it headed? The Nexari colonies in the Bright Spiral, Ambassador Zixtala answers. 15 billion inhabitants across 7 worlds. We're evacuating as many as possible, but the swarm moves too fast. How long until it arrives? 6 hours, maybe 7. Captain Chun looks at her diplomatic team. Dr. Martinez shrugs. Commander Rodriguez nods. Dr. Okafor closes his notebook. We'll help, Captain Chun says simply. The alien delegates stare at her. Ambassador Zixtala speaks first. Captain, you don't understand. The swarm has adaptive defenses. It learns from every attack. Our greatest weapons only made it stronger. It cannot be destroyed by conventional means. What have you tried? Commander Rodriguez asks. Everything, Admiral Mordoon replies. Nuclear weapons, quantum torpedoes, gravitational bombs, reality disruptors. Each attack teaches the swarm how to defend against similar weapons. After 1,200 years in containment, it has developed defenses against every known form of attack. Interesting challenge, Captain Chun muses. We'd like to take a look at it. Dr. Velkari's patches flash alarm colors. Captain, with respect, you don't comprehend the danger. The swarm destroyed fleets containing thousands of ships. Your vessel is impressive, but you're only one ship. Well, let's see what we can do, Captain Chun says. Commander Rodriguez. Signal the ship. Tell them we're cutting the diplomatic meeting short due to an emergency. The aliens watch in amazement as the humans prepare to leave. They show no fear, no hesitation. They treat a threat that has terrorized the galaxy for over a millennium like an interesting puzzle to solve. Captain, Ambassador Zixtala says urgently, perhaps you should coordinate with our fleets. We have 300 ships en route to intercept the swarm. That's nice of you, Captain Chun replies. But we wouldn't want to get in your way. We'll approach from a different angle. What she doesn't say is that the human ship can travel faster than the entire alien fleet combined. The Leviathan's dream reaches the intercept point 2 hours before any alien vessel on the bridge of the massive exploration ship. Captain Chin studies the sensor readings of their target. The Devourer swarm consists of millions of individual machines surrounding a central processing node the size of a small moon. Each component can adapt and change its function based on threats it encounters. Impressive engineering, Lieutenant Commander Tanaka observes from the tactical station. Whoever built this understood adaptive systems very well. Any ideas for dealing with it? Captain Chun asks. A few. The adaptation algorithms appear to follow standard machine learning protocols. Very advanced, but they operate within predictable parameters. Dr. Sarah Kim, the ship's head of artificial intelligence research, joins the discussion. I've been analyzing the swarm's behavioral patterns. It's definitely intelligent, but its thinking is purely logical. No intuition, no creativity, no ability to handle paradoxes. Paradoxes? Captain Chun asks. Yes, machine intelligences, even very advanced ones, have trouble with logical contradictions. They try to solve them and get caught in loops. Could we feed it a paradox? Theoretically, yes. But it would need to be embedded in something it recognizes as a threat. Otherwise, it might just ignore the information. Captain Chun nods. Work on it. We have about 4 hours before the alien fleets arrive. The Devourer swarm detects the approaching human ship long before visual contact. Its sensors register something unprecedented. The vessel approaching it generates power signatures that exceed theoretical maximums. Its mass defies gravitational physics. Its speed violates known laws of motion. For the first time in 1,200 years, the swarm encounters something it cannot immediately categorize or understand. The swarm's response follows its programming. It launches a probe swarm to analyze the new threat. Thousands of small machines streak toward the human ship, each one equipped with adaptive sensors and learning protocols. Incoming contacts, Lieutenant Patel reports from sensors. Approximately 3,000 small craft approaching at high speed. Let a few of them scan us, Captain Chun orders. We want the main intelligence to get a good look at our capabilities. The probe machines swarm over the human ship like metal insects. Their scans reveal technology that seems to violate basic physics, shields that convert incoming energy into usable power, hull materials that exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously, weapon systems that manipulate fundamental forces. The probes return to the swarm, carrying information that overloads its analysis protocols. The swarm has encountered thousands of different technologies over the centuries, but it has never seen anything like this. The main intelligence begins calculating defense strategies. It runs millions of simulations, trying to determine how to protect itself against weapons that seem to ignore physical laws. But every simulation produces the same result: insufficient data to calculate effective defenses. The swarm is having trouble analyzing us, Dr. Kim reports. Its processing cycles are increasing exponentially. I think we're giving it a headache. Good, Captain Chun says. Tanaka, are you ready with that paradox? Yes, Captain. I've embedded a classic logical contradiction into what appears to be a weapon system diagnostic. When the swarm tries to adapt its defenses, it will attempt to solve an unsolvable problem. Do it. The Leviathan's dream launches what appears to be a conventional energy beam toward the swarm. To outside observers, it looks like a standard plasma weapon. But embedded in the energy pattern is something far more dangerous than any physical attack. The beam strikes the swarm's outer defenses and immediately triggers its adaptation protocols. The swarm analyzes the attack, determines its nature, and begins developing countermeasures. But as it processes the embedded information, its logical systems encounter something impossible. The paradox is elegant in its simplicity. It presents the swarm with a statement that cannot be true or false within the bounds of logical reasoning. The swarm's intelligence, designed to solve problems through pure logic, cannot ignore the challenge. It must find the solution, but there is no solution. Dr. Kim watches the swarm's processing patterns on her screens. It's working. The main intelligence is devoting more and more resources to solving the paradox. Processing efficiency is dropping rapidly. The swarm tries to adapt. It creates new logical frameworks, develops alternative reasoning methods, even attempts to ignore the problematic data. But its core programming prevents it from abandoning unsolved problems. It must find the answer. The effect spreads through the entire swarm like a virus. Individual components begin shutting down as they devote their processing power to the impossible question. Communication networks overload as machines desperately share information that cannot help them. Central processing node is entering cascade failure, Tanaka reports. The entire swarm is basically thinking itself to death. Within minutes, the threat that terrorized the galaxy for over a millennium simply stops working. Millions of adaptive machines drift silent in space, their intelligence trapped in an infinite loop of unsolvable logic. The alien fleets arrive to find the devourer swarm completely inactive. Admiral Morjun's sensors register no energy signatures, no communication signals, no signs of adaptive responses. The greatest threat the galaxy has known has become a field of floating metal. How? Ambassador Zixfala asks over the communication. Channel. We fed it a logic puzzle it couldn't solve, Captain Chun explains. Sometimes the best way to stop a machine is to give it something to think about. The simplicity of the solution stuns the alien fleets. They had tried everything. Weapons that could crack planets, technologies that could reshape reality, strategies developed over centuries of warfare. The humans solved the problem with a math question. The swarm adapted to every physical attack, Dr. Valkyrie observes, but it never learned to handle concepts it couldn't process. That's the problem with pure logic, Dr. Kim adds. The emergency session of the Galactic Council convenes again, but this time the atmosphere is completely different. Representatives who arrived in fear now speak with voices filled with wonder and possibility. The humans have not just solved an impossible problem. They have shown that impossible problems are not really impossible. Ambassador Zixtala stands before the Great Assembly, her silver scales bright with excitement instead of fear. Fellow beings, we have witnessed something that changes everything. The threat that haunted our galaxy for 1,200 years is gone. Solved in minutes by beings who considered it an interesting puzzle, the chamber erupts in discussion. Some species flash joy colors, others emit electromagnetic bursts of amazement. The crystalline Nexari make sounds like wind chimes celebrating. But this is just the beginning, Ambassador Zixtala continues. The humans have agreed to share their knowledge. They want to work with us. They want to learn from us while teaching us their methods. Counselor Thekmore raises one of his massive stone hands. What do we have to offer beings who can solve our greatest problems in minutes? The question hangs in the air like a challenge. Then Dr. Valkyria's bioluminescent patches flash with sudden understanding. We have diversity, she says. We have different ways of thinking, different approaches to the same problems. She projects her analysis for the entire assembly to see. Humans advance quickly because they combine many different approaches. but their approaches are all human approaches. We represent 23 different species with 23 different ways of understanding the universe. The implications spread through the chamber like ripples in water. The humans have shown incredible capability, but they remain a single species with a single perspective. The galaxy contains thousands of different viewpoints, alternative solutions, and unique insights. They need us, Counselor Vextar realizes. Not because we're more advanced, but because we think differently. Meanwhile, aboard the Leviathan's Dream, Captain Chun reviews the proposals that have been flooding her communication systems. Every species wants to establish some kind of partnership with humanity. Research agreements, cultural exchanges, technological collaborations, and simple friendship treaties pile up on her desk. Popular ship we have here, Commander Rodriguez observes. They're excited about the possibilities, Dr. Martinez says. Some of these research proposals are fascinating. The Zephyrites want to combine their biotechnology with our quantum processing. The Thekanari think they can improve our construction techniques with their dimensional engineering. Captain Chang nods as she reads through the proposals. Dr. Okafor, what's your assessment of their cultures? Remarkable diversity, Captain. Each species has developed along completely different paths. Their solutions to basic problems often contradict each other, but they all work. We could learn enormous amounts from them, and they could learn from us? Definitely. Our generalist approach could help them break out of their specializations. Their expertise could help us solve problems we haven't even discovered yet. The first formal partnership agreement is signed between humanity and the Nexari Mathematics Consortium. The Nexari, master calculators who think in pure numbers, want to understand human intuitive problem-solving. The humans want to learn Nexari computational methods that can process variables in 17 dimensions simultaneously. Dr. Sarah Kim leads the human team working with Nexari researchers. The first joint session produces immediate results. Human creativity combined with Nexari mathematical precision solves energy efficiency problems that have puzzled both species for generations. It's remarkable, Dr. Kim reports to Captain Chun. They can calculate outcomes we never imagined. We can imagine solutions they never calculated. Together we're developing approaches that neither species could achieve alone. The success spreads quickly. The Zephyrites begin sharing their biological computers with human researchers. The devices, enhanced with human quantum processing techniques, achieve something unprecedented: artificial consciousness that feels emotions. The Thekanari construction crews, working with human engineers, complete projects in months that previously took centuries. Human efficiency principles combined with Thekanari dimensional manipulation allow them to build structures that exist in multiple realities simultaneously. The Volari energy specialists discover that human power generation methods can be improved by their electromagnetic field techniques. The resulting hybrid systems produce energy outputs that exceed the theoretical maximums of both technologies, but the changes go beyond simple technological advancement. The galaxy's political structure begins shifting in ways that surprise everyone. Species that have been enemies for millennia find themselves working together on joint projects with human advisors. The Kepler War, a conflict that has raged for 8,000 years between the Torvan Empire and the Nexari Federation, ends when human mediators point out that both sides are fighting over resources that could be easily synthesized using combined technologies. You've been fighting over water rights to a star system, Dr. Okafor explains to both sides. The Torvan atmospheric processors combined with Nexari mathematical modeling could produce more water than that entire system contains. You're fighting over scraps when you could be making feasts. The peace treaty is signed 3 days later. Both species begin collaborating instead of competing, pooling their resources for projects that benefit everyone. Similar changes happen across the galaxy. Ancient grudges seem pointless when new partnerships offer unlimited possibilities. Species that have isolated themselves for millions of years suddenly open their borders to researchers and cultural exchanges. Ambassador Zixtala finds herself coordinating the largest peaceful transformation in galactic history. The Hegemony Council, which ruled through fear and control for 50,000 years, voluntarily dissolves itself to form the Galactic Cooperative Alliance. We cannot rule beings who surpass us in every way, she explains to the former council members, but we can work with them. We can contribute to something greater than any single species could achieve. The humans, characteristically, seem surprised by all the political changes. Captain Chin receives regular reports about governments reforming, wars ending, and new alliances forming across the galaxy. We're just sharing information, she tells Ambassador Zixthala during one of their regular communication sessions. We're not trying to change anyone's government. Captain, you don't understand, Ambassador Zixthala replies. Knowledge changes everything. When you showed us that impossible problems have solutions, you changed how we think about everything else. The transformation accelerates as more human ships arrive in the galaxy. Each vessel brings new researchers, new ideas, and new approaches to problems. The humans establish research stations throughout the galaxy, always in partnership with local species, always sharing their discoveries freely. Dr. Elena Skez arrives aboard the UES Curiosity and immediately begins working with Valari scientists on faster-than-light communication. Dr. James Wright, captain of the UES Explorer, partners with Zephyrite biologists to develop self-repairing spacecraft hulls. Captain Maria Santos of the UES Discovery collaborates with Decanari engineers on projects that reshape entire solar systems. Each partnership produces results that amaze both species involved. Human creativity unleashes alien potential that has been locked away by millions of years of specialized thinking. Alien expertise helps humans solve problems they never knew existed. The galaxy begins to change in visible ways. New construction projects appear throughout inhabited space. Planets that were considered uninhabitable become garden worlds through combined terraforming techniques. Star systems that barely supported life become centers of abundance. The Nexari colonies, saved from the Devourer swarm, become the first test sites for integrated technologies. Human atmospheric processors enhanced with Zephyrite biological systems create air that is not just breathable but actively healthy. The Canary construction techniques combined with human efficiency principles build cities that exist in harmony with their environment. But perhaps the most important change is psychological. Species that have accepted limitations for millions of years suddenly believe in possibilities. Problems that seemed permanent become temporary challenges. The phrase impossible disappears from scientific vocabularies across the galaxy. Dr. Velkari publishes her groundbreaking study on human psychology, but she adds an important conclusion. Humans achieve the impossible because they refuse to accept that anything is impossible. This attitude is contagious. Species working with humans begin to adopt similar perspectives. The contagion spreads faster than any technology. Young members of various species begin approaching problems with human-like curiosity and determination. They ask why not instead of why. They propose solutions instead of accepting limitations. Captain Chun prepares for the next phase of human exploration. The Leviathan's dream has completed its survey of the local galactic group. The data they have collected, combined with alien knowledge, reveals possibilities they never imagined. Where to next, Captain? Commander Rodriguez asks. The Magellanic Clouds, Captain Chun replies. Dr. Martinez thinks we